Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 187 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekly edition, and I'm standing beside some beautiful student marbling here today. That is, however, not what we're going to be talking about. Today, we're going to talk about shop air quality. So, if you want to learn a little bit today, all you need to do is stay tuned. Well, I'm standing in front of the marbling we did today and holding a turning tool. So the air quality discussion that I'm going to go through today will largely be about how I keep the air quality a little better in here while we're turning. So that's what today's topic is going to be about. However, before I get into that, I don't know if you guys noticed in my last video, if you watched it, I'm having sound trouble again, and that was my first time using my new microphone system, and my new mic is very sensitive to me turning my head because the distance changes to the mic. So I'm trying to wear it more central today. Hopefully that works. So I guess when I edit, I'll figure out whether this worked or not. But anyway, back to our topic. For those of you who are unaware, I happen to own 10 lathes. I would consider 2 of them my main lathes, my Laguna right here, and I've got a General International back behind me. But the rest, the other 8, are a collection of 3 Jets and 5 Deltas, and I would consider those my student lathes. Now, it's a long story how I came to acquire all of them, and not really that important for today's discussion. But when we have groups of people in here turning, for air quality concerns, running dust collection to each of those lathes is just not going to happen. It isn't going to happen that we're going to put dust collection to each lathe. In fact, where the lathes stand vary from time to time, from group to group. So that's impractical. So how do you deal with air quality when you can't run dust collection to those pieces of equipment? Well, a little bit of history here. Probably, 2012 or so, when there was rumor when I was teaching at the public school here about them redoing all the shops in the school division. That's when dust collection was going to be introduced to the school shop. I worked over half my career in a shop, sometimes with 30 kids at a time, running all kinds of equipment with no dust collection. So I'm very aware of things like lung capacity tests and all that stuff because I tried to take care of my health when that was happening. Turns out I'm very tolerant, so that's been excellent, but a person shouldn't count on that. So anyway, I started doing a lot of research about dust collection, and at the time, and I think it's still true actually, what I would argue maybe was the definitive work on woodshop dust collection were articles published by Bill Pence. Now I read everything that he wrote, and it's to have a shop that is, dare I say it, good for your lungs is challenging. And what I liked about Bill's work is it's come under criticism with some people thinking it's gone way too far. I don't look at it like that. I look at his research as setting the gold standard. That's what you're trying to get to, but if you get to here, it's better than getting to there. So I would say whatever your budget, your tooling, and your dedication, like what are you trying to do? Are you going to be out here, an hour a week, an hour a day, or 12 hours a day? It all depends on what your commitment is to this hobby and craft. So with those things in mind, that should determine how far up that ladder you get. Now, for me, largely, I'm in here well, we're heading into winter again, so I'll be in here 10, 12 hours a day. Not always running equipment, but I'll be in here. So for me, yes, I have a Clearview, a first generation Clearview dust collector, which I will eventually run to all my tools, which is hopefully going to happen this winter. But so I've got kind of the first cog. I also have an air filter, which I'd like to talk about today, which I think is a good thing. Some people feel that they're not that good, but I really like mine, and I'll explain why just a little later. But so I kind of have two important cogs in that wheel. But, excuse me, um, for people who know they're sensitive to dust and are serious about woodworking or would like to do some woodworking, you can save a lot of your money, like by just basically buying some really, really effective PPE. For example, a mask system that draws air through a filter and blows it down on your face. Those things are wonderful. And even as Bill Pence says, that is the best way to make sure that you're protected from dust. So, what I thought I'd do today is give you a little bit of a tour of my air cleaner. Now, I like my air cleaner because, okay, today wasn't a good example because we marbled today. But most days when I turn with kids, I try to have that or air cleaner running the whole time because I notice it dramatically improves the air quality in here. Um, Basically, in fact, I have students that I've told them, hey, if I forget to turn it on, remind me. And I have one or two that I won't have all the pieces in the lathe yet. And they're telling me, hey, Mr. Friesen, or Glenn, let's let's turn the dust or turn the air filter on. So, and that's good that they do that. They're developing awareness that they need to look after their lungs. But I really notice that when we stop for coffee in the afternoon. So I have a 3 hour class with them. We go about an hour 20, hour and a half, and then we stop for a pop or a coffee break or break, whatever, which I find that my young students really need. Heck, I need it too. But they're, that takes a while to focus that long and all that stuff. So I'm still a teacher. I understand kids, and we take a break and we leave the air cleaner running. And by the time we get back at it, there's a noticeable improvement. Not that turning generates that much dust. For example, when you're turning and you're using your spindle gouge, or sorry, your roughing gouge, and you're peeling off nice shavings, those shavings, yeah, they're going to make a mess on your floor, but they're not going to hurt you. It's the really, really fine stuff. In fact, some would argue that even when your filters in an air cleaner are somewhat compromised, it's letting a lot of 1 micron, 2 micron stuff through, which to my understanding is the level of dust that's harmful to your body. Now, thankfully, your body has a few ways of dealing with it, but the problem with letting your body deal with it is if it gets too much, your defenses are simply overwhelmed, and then you can have problems. So, what I thought I'd do today is we're going to take you mobile, we're going to go up on ladder. I'm going to give you a couple of different views of my air cleaner. And my air cleaner is actually a Princess Auto version, but the way tools are built these days, um, this is a tool, or this air cleaner is built for several different companies. I'm convinced it's the same thing. It's 1044 CFM, 1/5 horsepower. It takes a 12 by 24, I believe, by 1 inch filter for the first filter, and then it's got a kind of a box and a tapered filter on the inside, and they are pretty standard. This one has a 1/5 horse motor. Now, some of the newer ones, I went looking again the last couple days, and they're making them a little bit bigger. Mine is designed for about 1,000 square feet, and apparently at its highest setting at 1044 CFM, it filters all the air in the shop through it 7 or 8 times in an hour. So in 20 minutes, we're getting probably two cleanings. So my coffee break with the kids, it's a good way to get the air cleared. But anyway, so let's get away from here. By the way, this marbling turned out exceptionally well today. These guys did a good job. Not sure exactly what happened. I didn't prep any paint or anything. It just worked wonderful. So anyway, I'm going to go up the ladder and I'm going to show you what we got. And we're up a little higher. Hopefully I don't get so busy watching the back of the camera that I step off my table saw platform here. That'd be bad. Have an injury doing a YouTube video. But anyway, there's the side of it. We'll try to give you the front and the side in this view, and then I'll move and I'll show you where the controls are and everything. Yeah, it's like I said, Princess Auto, uh, so Power Fist, but the Wen, a Jet. Jet makes a few models. There's a few that look pretty much identical to this. So, like I said, the way Chinese tools are built these days, um, yeah, they basically build this for several manufacturers. They just change the paint on them. So yeah, this is that filter. Now, this filter isn't an original to this unit. Princess Auto seems to want a lot of money for these filters. So I've been buying them at different places. The ones that are kind of medium priced, I think this filter was somewhere around $20, a little over $20 at Great Western Saw. I did try some furnace filters from Canadian Tire that fit in here, but I don't know. They seem to plug up easily. I wasn't impressed with them. Sorry, excuse me. But this one seems to have worked good. Now, this outer filter apparently is a 5 micron filter. At least that's what the original one was. But let's see if I can step over here and just unclip these and take this out. It's really simple. Yeah, it's quite dusty already too. See, and then in there, and by the way, this all comes out so you can clean it quite nicely. And by the looks of it, I need to do that again. So yeah, it's very simple. The air comes in this side. It comes through the 5 micron filter. Sorry about the camera view here. Comes in, then passes through the 1 micron filter. Ooh, a little dusty. Yeah, you can see the fine dust that it's catching. So yeah, that has worked really quite well. Some of the larger ones of these for bigger areas, they're running a larger motor and running more CFM. Sorry about that. But I thought for my shop, which is approaching 1,000 square feet, this is a good model. And it just plugs in. It's 110 plug. Yeah, it's only a 1/5 horsepower motor, so and a fan, so there's not a lot of electrical load. When I mounted it, I just put what I call handy angle, bolted it onto the trusses, and then used those links to hold it up. So it's a nice clean install. And yeah, every once in a while, and I guess I need to make a schedule and do it more often, is take everything apart and blow it out. So, okay, let's give you a different view of this. And we're back. Yes, I moved around. The other side, for instance, this side here, is the same as the other side of this unit. So, and you can again clearly see how I mounted it to the ceiling. And where I put it, I just decided to put it in the middle, and that has worked out really well. Now, yeah, there's a little bit of information here. So there you go, 1044. I haven't seen this in Princess Auto in years, so I don't think they're stocking them anymore. There's the control panel, and I can operate it remotely. Or sorry, I can operate it from here, but I can operate it remotely as well, which is really handy because it would be a real pain to have to come up and do that all the time. Uh, it isn't really loud. Yeah, you hear it, but it's well worth it. So there isn't really much to this thing. It's just a standard unit. I'm going to get the remote. I should have done that in advance here. I should have been prepared. I'm going to get the remote and we're just going to listen to it for a little bit. Okay, well, there's the remote, and you can see it's got on and speed and then a timer function, which I don't think I've ever used, and then the off button. Now, this controller is quite directional, so you kind of have to be standing pretty much in line to get it to work. But I keep it in a little container here, and everybody knows where it is. So, okay, I'm going to try to turn this thing on and show you about how loud it is. Now, that may not work quite as good as I'm hoping for because my microphone may mute it, so it may be quieter than it appears. So let's turn it on. Okay, that's the sound on its highest speed. Oh, come on, it's not changing. There we go. Didn't seem to make much difference, but that sounds pretty much the same to me. I'm not sure what's going on. Probably something I'm doing wrong. But anyway, I have it on high speed all the time anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think the sound isn't bad. It's certainly worth it. Um, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So I'm just going to turn it off. There we go. That's it. Yeah, it's pretty quiet. It's certainly, I don't find it disruptive in the shop at all. And that's one of the things I like about it. But yeah, I guess I'm going to have to clean that thing out because it's a little dirtier than I thought it was. So anyway, let's close this video off. Well, I hope you found that helpful. Like I said, I think Bill Pence's work is definitely the epitome of dust collection research. And as far as you can get up that ladder towards what he would deem acceptable, I think you can't go wrong with that. And remember, PPE too, the fan-forced headgear works really, really well. And you know what? Even if it's just a regular paper mask, protect yourself the best way you can, keeping in mind what you can afford and what you're doing. Okay, well, that brings this video to a close. Yeah, hopefully this was somewhat helpful for you. I did everything backwards. I had my air cleaner installed before I even owned a dust collector. I was busy trying to save up money for a dust collector, and I ended up buying my lathe and a dust collector in the same week. That was kind of bad, but the dust collector was a screaming deal, and it seems to be working really good. So we will get that pipe run, and no, it won't be up to Bill Pence's standards, but it's going to be the best I can do with what I have. So anyway, with that in mind, thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'd sure like to get to 1,000 subscribers in my lifetime. And yeah, we'll see you on the weekend edition. And we might have something a little bit special on the weekend edition. And it might be a little bit late. So anyway, take care. Have a good rest of the week.